Hey guys, welcome back to Art a la Carte. So what are you guys up to? What have I been up to? I am up to my eyeballs in convention prep. I have my very first convention coming up this weekend, so I have been busily getting prints organized and making buttons. They're so much fun. But seriously, it's been taking a ton of time. Last night I didn't go to bed till almost 3 in the morning, which for me is very late. I've been posting some photos of my convention prep on social media, and I've gotten a few requests to post a video on how I create buttons. I thought about doing a tutorial video where I walked you through all of the individual steps that I do in creating buttons, but then just realized there's nothing new that I could say. This video has already been created excellently. So if you are looking for a video on how to do buttons, I highly recommend that you check out Bailey J's videos. She covers all the basics, and I don't feel that I have any new information that I could add to the actual steps of how to make a button. I'll leave a link to Bailey J's button video in the description box below, so definitely check that out. But what I thought I could do in this video is to give you some troubleshooting. When I first got my button machine, it worked great for about the first 10 buttons, but then it started miscrimping, and instead of getting buttons that look like this, I got buttons that look like this. Not what you want. It was very frustrating. I was hoping to find a troubleshooting button video online and just couldn't find anything that had all the answers in one video. In this video, I want to put the top 3 things to check for if your button machine is not working properly. Number 1, troubleshooting. If your machine is crimping badly, the first thing I would check into is the quality of your machine. For your information, I have this model, and here's the information on my button machine. This thing is a beast. It's a tank. It weighs a ton, and when it works amazing. But there are several different brands of button machines out there. So the first troubleshooting step is actually something to do before you purchase, and that's to do a little research. I find the most valuable research is customer reviews, and it's usually pretty honest. I went through and read lots of different reviews, and I found the button machines that are the least expensive also had the highest rates of dissatisfied customers complaining that their machine kept miscrimping. Along with purchasing a brand of machine that I trust, I also recommend purchasing from a company that I trust. Some people have claimed that you can purchase these in craft stores and other hobby stores. Those stores must be in some magical kingdom, because I've never found a store that carried these machines locally. But I did find 2 shops on Etsy that carry both the machines and the button supplies. Ordered from both of them. One company I ordered the machine from, and one company I ordered the button parts from. And I have to say that both these companies went above and beyond customer service. So quick backstory, when I purchased my button machine, after about the first 10 buttons, it started miscrimping almost every single button. And I tried all of the different troubleshooting things that I'm going to talk about later in this video, and still did not work. I contacted the company, and they immediately said they would ship me out a brand new machine. Not only that, but the other company that I purchased the button parts found out that I had wasted so many button parts, actually sent me some replacement button parts free of charge. And they totally didn't have to do that. I was amazed. So I will leave a link to both of those shops in the description box below. So if you're looking for a company that you can trust, and I highly recommend them. I don't know that they ship outside of the United States. You'd have to ask them, but I know that if you live inside the United States, they definitely would ship to you. That's the worst case scenario, is having to actually get a replacement machine. There are several things that you can do to fix problems on your own. Problem number 2 is I would check what type of paper that you're using. A lot of times when we're creating buttons, we think we want to get the thickest and nicest paper, or use photo paper to make the buttons so the image is beautiful. The buttons are made of 3 different parts. You have this part, which is called the shell, which is the part the image goes onto. You have the backing, which has your pin, and you have a thin piece of plastic called the mylar. Then this is what protects your image from any kind of damage. So with those 3 different parts, you're also going to want to have your paper that you're going to put your image on. The mylar plastic, the image, the shell, and the backing all fit together, and this all has to crimp underneath the button. If you have a really thick paper or photo paper, it can be really hard for the machine to crimp it correctly underneath all the button parts, and sometimes it will misfeed or pop out. Checking the manual that comes with your button machine will often give good recommendations for what kind of weight for paper. I found a brand of paper that is a 32-pound weight, and it works great for my buttons. Not only does the image print very clearly on the paper, but because of the thinner weight, it's easy for the button machine to crimp it under. If you want more information on the brand and type of paper that I use, I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. Number 3, When putting your button parts into your machine, you're going to want to check it really carefully that each time you put in one. So here's an example of the shell, and at first glance it looks like there's just one, but if you carefully look at it, what kind of magic is this? These guys are sneaky and they like to be with their buddies and they like to crimp together, and so when you pick them up, you may think you're only picking up one when you're picking up two. So always double check before you put these into the machine that you're only loading in one shell. If you load in more than one shell, it's going to misfeed and usually get jammed up in the crimping chamber. Same thing goes with these babies. These little guys love to stick together. Also, on a side note, you want to be really careful touching these because you don't want to leave your fingerprints forever immortalized on someone else's buttons. So I tried to handle them as little as possible, but you want to double check to make sure that you don't have two of these, because usually if you have two of them, the plastic will kind of pop out of the side of the crimp and you have a wasted button. Also check the crimping chamber, as sometimes shells will get lodged up in there and you don't realize it, especially if you're distracted halfway through a button and you forget that you've already crimped part of the button in there and haven't finished it, and you go and crimp another one. Now it's really jammed. So really kind of inspect to make sure that there's nothing left up inside there. If you're making buttons and having a little bit of trouble, hopefully these little troubleshooting suggestions will help you find a solution. As for me, I need to get back to making more buttons. If you have a suggestion for any other video topics, let me know in the comment section below. If you're brand new to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, God bless you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye!